Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 135. Let's catch up with me, George, and this week joined by Bobby, World Platinum Master, to my Bronze Hero. How's it going, friend?
It's going good.
So just to get everyone caught up, despite my best efforts over the last couple of years, I succumbed and caught COVID. And even after 3 jabs, it rendered me an absolute mess, I have to say. I know it affects everyone differently, but it kicked me in the privates quite hard. And I was out for the count. And while I was off, you've been concluding your charity fundraising events. You finished that with a speech in Boston on the benefits of mosquito nets and their deployment, which counteracts Tom, really. Thankfully, we've got you. Well done. I think he's just signed up for his 5th Lamborghini. So
fancy, man.
Podcast life, but you're doing it right, keeping it bare minimum. I like what you're doing. So it's going to be a very quick show. We're going to do some news, and then we're going to do an extended what you've been playing section. And then obviously you can't have the Unofficial Controller Podcast without Stingray. He'll be here as well in the back third of the show.
Stingray.
Stingers. And then we'll wish you a good day. And we'll pat you on the back and let you get on with your gaming week. So I guess first up, we ought to have a little sniff at some news. So, Bobby, feels strange not me telling you not what I've been playing straight away, but it is what it is. The news has scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, I'll go first because I'm feeling giddy. More West. This is a game that we'll be talking about in the what you've been playing section. So there's a strong chance you've barely scratched the surface of Horizon Forbidden West, but even if you've barely made it out the Daunt, you may be interested to learn that DLC expansions could be on the way. A video published by VSC Rating Board, the statutory board which rates video games in the UK, mentions the inclusion of an online storefront in the game used to purchase DLC expansions. We've double-checked the game's PEGI rating and in-game purchases are referenced. The full description explains this game offers players the opportunity to connect their storefront where they can purchase subsequent DLC expansions, which some parents or carers may want to be aware of. Parents, carers, or other responsible adults should check to see what is being offered before making any purchase on behalf of a child. It should be noted that the game can still be played without need to purchase items. Of course, if you played the game, you already know there is no in-game storefront available from the main menu. That's presumably because Horizon Forbidden West doesn't actually have any DLC yet. Therefore, it's probably safe to assume this will be added at a later date. It's not overly surprising. Predecessor Horizon Zero Dawn got a massive and fantastic expansion in the form of the Frozen Wilds, so we suspect something similar will be planned here. Is there anything in particular you'd like to experience in potential Horizon Forbidden West DLC? If so, head to the ever-expanding and wonderful place, which is the show's Discord, and tell us there, along with all the other gamers. Now, Bobby, you're yet to play Horizon Forbidden West. I don't want to kick the wheels out of it before we get to the Let's Catch Up section, but you getting the game or you're not getting the game?
I have it.
Oh, you've got it. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's just still in plastic, so Elliot would appreciate that.
Elliot, one of our fine listeners. Yeah,
but it will be open soon. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, I've built up some of the PS5's big hitters, I suppose, and I will be breaking into those on a rainy day.
I also want to say I appreciate the UK trailers sometimes when it goes PEGI 18 or PEGI 15.
Is that? I thought that was an American thing.
No, we don't have PEGI. We just have the regular rating, and it doesn't say for mature. It just goes with the trailer.
Oh, PEGI sounds way cooler, doesn't it?
You guys come off with the same guy. I don't know who does it. PEGI 18. I'm not. Oh, it's
but
an adult
the thing
game.
is,
I love it.
We've picked an American to do the voice for the PEGI 18 warning of a European label for.
I think it's amazing. I love the way it sounds. Even if it's a kid game, he's like PEGI 12. Okay, sounds good.
PEGI 7. Well, that's good. Well, we'll talk some Horizon Zero Dawn I keep calling it Horizon Zero Dawn. The subtitle is Horizon. The game is Horizon. The first one is Zero Dawn. The second one is Forbidden West.
It's confusing.
The expansion was Horizon Frozen Wilds. So are we on the third game? I really don't know anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. Next bit of news, Bobby.
More communication. There have been some network issues with Elden Ring on Xbox over the weekend, but it seems issues have now been resolved. This information comes from Xbox Brad Rosati via an update on Twitter. Here are the full details. He says the network issue with Elden Ring has been resolved. No more network status check failed messages. Apparently, this fix is in the form of a backend update to Elden Ring, not an actual patch for the Xbox version. We have heard from Bandai Namco or from software, but we'll let you know.
Okay, yeah. So if we hear any more, we'll obviously keep you in the loop, either here or on the Discord. But as far as we know, that's all good to go and rolling ahead. The From Software games always have that element of interactivity between users, which as a From Software, early doors apprentice, I would say they're useful. They're useful. Have you ever left a message in a From Software game for someone?
Yes. Usually jump here, and it's like you can't because you die. I think it's hilarious.
We had someone messages. I can't remember the guy's name, but he had listened to the From Software game episode that we did, and he found it quite useful. And he actually didn't realize, much like me, there was a run button. And he came on Instagram to say, just listening to this show, you've blown my mind. I now realize I can run in whichever From Software game he was playing. Thank you very much. So whoever that was, what an absolute legend. We're glad.
Yeah, I do try to leave useful message. I really do, though. If it's something important, I feel I'll leave the best message I can on whatever you're allowed to write down.
That's more like the good guy I thought you were.
But sometimes, there's like a weird spot and it looks interesting, but you really can't do anything with it. And jump here. It's like, and people just try and try and try. Can't.
That's the Tom in you, that is. I mean, well, there
it's
you
still
go.
Funny, though.
Here's another slice of news, you evil despot. Smash, no smash. As you might recall, last March, Sony Interactive Entertainment and esports business RTS jointly acquired the fighting game tournament EVO. Nintendo at the time said it would continue to assess EVO as it planned for future Super Smash Bros. Tournament activity. It seems a decision has now been made. According to an announcement from the team at EVO, Nintendo has decided to withdraw Super Smash Bros. From the event. It's admittedly a massive blow, as the series has been featured at the fighting game tournament since 2007. Here's the full statement from EVO. Since 2007, we've seen historic Super Smash Bros. Moments created at EVO's events. We are saddened that Nintendo has chosen not to continue that legacy with us this year. In the future, we hope to once again celebrate the Super Smash Bros. Community alongside them. As noted in the tweet, there's also an EVO 2022 announcement show taking place on March 8th. Nintendo previously mentioned how it enjoyed engaging with fans at past EVO tournaments and wished the show organisers all their best in their new venture. Most recently, Nintendo has been hosting its own tournaments events in partnership with Panda Global. I include that. I know a lot of our listeners, they're into their esports and they're into all that sort of stuff. Super Smash being taken away from EVO. Trying to get my head around what that means. Is that because of Sony's tie-up? Is that because they feel like EVO doesn't represent their brand values? It's always very hard to know with Nintendo. I know being a Nintendo-specific content creator on YouTube comes with its own pitfalls and worries and stresses. Look at Wood, the guy, I think it's like Street Fighters or whatever his name is. He appears on some episodes of Game Chasers. He had an official Nintendo brand affiliation and then got it removed. So you need to just be
and it went away.
Oh, it's fixed.
Completed.
Oh, okay.
I felt like I was in a European.
Oh, you felt like you were in a rave.
That's what I was hearing.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Felt good though.
That's probably upstairs in Ponsonbury Manor somewhere. I've rented the rooms out, and I can't keep a track on what's gone on with them. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on in them, in and out of all hours of the day. I'm trying to make ends meet. To those that don't know the law of the show, You got 134 episodes to catch up on. You think Downton
sure
Abbey?
do.
Yeah, you think Downton Abbey's a complicated storyline. You went and you just hear this just sounds like a normal podcast. No. Far from it. To that note, apologies there for the slight interruption in the recording, but we'll polish it up in the edit, no doubt. Community corrections again on the Discord. No one seems to have pulled us up for anything we said or did wrong. So flawless victory once again. But if you hear amongst the 135 episodes that we've done that we've made a boo-boo and you want to take us a task to it, Bobby, how would they get in touch and let us know that we know less about gaming than their 4-year-old cousin who's just found an LCD game in mum's bra cupboard?
They can reach us over at Twitter or Instagram at the unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com or just unofficial controller podcast. They can email us at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, which is, the preferred gentleman way. Or they can join the link and join the Discord and let us know there as well.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
We'd love to see you at the Discord. It's a 24/7 party people play, so, get involved. Now, in these 2 weeks that we've not put out a show, Bobby, due to illness and obviously your ongoing charity tour that you do, we've played some games, and I want to talk to you about those. Now,
Go for it.
The first game I went to, it was one of our play-along games for the month, Bully. So in the Discord every month, Retro Gamer Thomas and some others organise a vote on a new game and a retro game to play. I think the new game was Uncharted 4 and the old game was Bully. And I was sat there and I didn't want to play any modern games. I just didn't. And downstairs, I have the PS2 hooked up through Component. And I thought, I need comfort food. Bully. My goodness gracious me. Even to this day, Bully is one hell of a game. Absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. Is it one of Rockstar's best? In the shade of Red Dead Redemption 2, I would say maybe not. Compared to Red Dead Redemption 1, possibly. It's a game, again, where you get to play as a red-haired boy, in my opinion, Bobby. So it's a game that should be right up your street. We talked about Cal Kestis last time, and this young lad, to me, looks like he's got a hint of the wire in his hair. So
I did buy it after this episode.
Bully?
Yeah. It was like $7.99.
Exactly. James the Work Experience Boys picked it up as well. He thinks he's a gamer from another generation. But
and you know what's funny? Like, I don't know why I missed out on this. I played Red Dead Revolver. I did all the Grand Theft Autos. I mean, I was in it to win it.
Well,
and I just missed Manhunt. I just missed Bully.
Yeah, because you're a big fan of Manhunt. You're a big fan of Manhunt 1 and 2, aren't you?
So I was just so shocked I missed this. I missed out. And my brother had it and played it, but I was like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I would say a couple of things. Based on my experience with Bully, I thought, maybe these PS2 non-GTA Rockstar games are actually gold. Let me start my invest, because I finished Bully, credits, the lot. I was like, amazing experience. Could actually be, if you like sort of life simulator games in a way, getting up, going to school, doing all that, it's a little limited, but for a short window, it gives you that great experience before the narrative opens up and you get access to more areas and more freedom. I thought, yeah, all right, well, I'll dust off Red Dead Revolver. Maybe that's better than I remember. No. It's still absolutely broken. It's still a complete car crash of a game. It's just mini shooting levels. It feels more like sometimes when you go to the fairground and you like spray water in these different things, it's like a Wild West thing. You spray a load of water in the guy's mouth and he like sits and is like, "Hey up, marmots," or something like that. Or you spray a load of water at a can and it falls over, and then like a Wild West woman appears at the window. She's like, "What you doing, you rude and turning cowboy?" It feels like loads of those levels bolted together. And that's Red Dead Revolver. I didn't feel anything for the characters. I didn't feel anything. But a game of equal strength and enjoyment is Warriors on the PS2. Now, did you play that?
Beautiful game. Yeah, that I had.
Now, my only gripe with that is the tagging mechanic. Bully has a similar one,
very
but
annoying.
It's way more forgiving. In Warriors, there's a section where I've gone to a graffiti battle.
Yeah.
All right. And you haven't got enough cans to do your whole thing, but the cans appear around the area as and when you need them, as and when every gang needs them. So I think Rockstar probably thought, oh, they'll have a great time fighting for these cans, and then they'll be able to do a little bit of tagging. They'll love that. No, because the tagging's garbage, and I waste more cans.
This is where you
have
to also have to fight to throw them off something to keep tagging, or they can throw you off.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And
it was
the game, right up until that point, I was like, this game is absolute gold. It's as good as Bully. And then I hit this bit of a roadblock. And like I say, I was poorly. I was struggling with games generally to even get the character to walk straight. Getting Jimmy, or whatever his name is in Bully, to go on the skateboard without careering into the left pavement and the right pavement was, I don't know how I managed to finish him. I was in and out of consciousness. The PS2 must have been damn near melting. So it'd be leaving it on like, and then I'd come back in the room and be like, right, okay, play a bit more. But it did give me that warmth and comfort. Warriors, the same, the production values, the way it's put together, it felt so good. Such a quality product, I have to say. Off the back of that, as I got better, I thought to myself, I'm going to play Red Dead 1. Storyline of that game, phenomenal.
Yeah.
The world now, empty. Hollow. Still a good game to play. The side distractions.
What do you think is more hollow? This or Skyrim? That or Skyrim?
Ooh. Actually, probably Skyrim.
That's bad.
Because there's times in Red Dead where the NPCs are doing stuff. They're non-interactable. I mean, yeah, in Skyrim, the 5 residents of these massive towns will actually talk to you, but it's the same garbage.
Just can't believe when you mentioned that. And I went back and I'm like, my God, this man hit the nail on the head. I'm like, George, that's crazy. There's no way there's 5 people. No, there is.
There is. Oblivion's worse. The biggest capital city in the whole of Elder Scrolls lore, 10 people. I mean, we got a problem here. We've got a huge problem here, but no one's saying anything. Everyone's saying, oh, what a great game. And I'm like, give me some filler just so I feel like I'm walking around the streets of the busiest capital city in the whole of Tamriel. Yeah. But no, not in Oblivion. No. And they probably had to take one of them out on PS3 just to get it to run.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I words fail me, but no, Red Dead, it's still got all the Rockstar bits. There's still all the detail there. It's just obviously compared to Red Dead 2, it's absolutely hollow. But it's still great. Still a fun story. Once you've played Red Dead 2, going back to play Red Dead 1, some of the characters really don't match into your experience that you had in Red Dead 2, but I guess they probably never thought they'd be doing a prequel. So some of the story beats between John and Dutch don't really tie in as well, but time's passed and they've both evolved as characters, so it can kind of be explained away. But it is rather if you think about it from that point of view, it's quite a tragic tale. John rounding up these old friends of his and bringing them to task. It's a proper Western story, that's for sure. And obviously the way that, again, if you haven't finished what's now probably 400 euro game, I won't ruin it for you, but the ending's still impactful. Very impactful.
It's a good word.
Yeah. And then I cleared the boards down. And I didn't play any From Software because, like I said, I wanted comfort food. And by the time I came out, my general malaise, Horizon Forbidden West had dropped on the doormat. And I thought, yeah, I'm ready for this. On the first weekend alone, I'd done over 40 hours.
That's incredible.
In the week since, I've probably put in another 20. Now we talk about hollow games. There are obviously people around, but sometimes, you know, that interactivity that you kind of want from a game isn't there. But what I would say about the game is I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm in the end game now, so much like yourself, I want to try and maybe pop the platinum as the end credits roll. So I'm just trying to get all the things ticked that I know I need to get ticked. I think I've defeated all the enemies I need to defeat. There's just the rebel camps and some other things to do, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, the first game, my biggest complaint was I didn't feel anything for Aloy. I liked the gameplay elements of it. I liked the mechanics within the game. I just, and I liked the world. I like the enemies. I like the story behind it all. I think it's absolutely a very clever idea. I didn't feel anything for Aloy. This time round, I absolutely 120% have bought into her and her story and her companions. And something happened in bit of gameplay last night, and I was a bit cut up, to be fair. It was it was unexpected, and it made me that's what made me say it made me realize that the game had done what I'd asked it to do and make me feel for the people in the world. At least definitely a close companions. I didn't realize I was, but I was emotionally involved. And
let's say you take, I'm just using it as an example because that's all I know. All the Sony made games, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like she was the weakest.
Agreed.
Character.
Yeah.
Which is because normally they're all like, oh, I feel something for him. Something.
Yes. Yeah.
Her, I just felt like, all right, I'm figuring out the world as I go, but I still don't even know what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And it took, at the end of the game, like, oh wow, that's crazy. So I'm excited to see her develop.
And that's and to be honest, that's what they've done. And I didn't think they'd be able to. I just thought it'd be another one of these games. Now, off air, I described I described it to you as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but good, or Assassin's Creed, but good. I don't know what the difference is. Like I checked on my profile, I put 60 hours into Assassin's Creed Valhalla and felt nothing, literally nothing. I was numb to it. Apart from a showcase of the PS5 when I first got it. I mean, 60 hours. I'm not mucking around here. Yeah. I'm not mucking around. But I just couldn't bring myself to play it anymore. I got absolutely just numb to it. I just couldn't see a reason to carry on playing it. Now, I know a lot of people have enjoyed it, but I just did not. Whereas Forbidden West, I've done more than that time. And if the game ended up being double this length, I think I'd be happy with that. So kudos to them. One thing I found over the weekend, which caused me to play for an overly long amount of time, one of the new mounts is basically a raptor.
Really?
Now, it's slower than the charger and the bull or buffalo equivalent, but it actually will follow the road and then weave in and out of trees. And I had focused on being a bowmaster until I realized I could tame a claw rider. I did a certain cauldron. It was like claw strider or whatever has come up. And I was like, wait, hang on a minute. So I can ride this? Wait. So I immediately went to get one. And first of all, I was a bit disappointed. And then when and this is maybe why, I mean, I'm very close to the end game. I know I am. When you've played enough games, you know that.
Yeah, you know.
You're in the final thing. It's like, oh, come back and speak to me when you're ready. Wink, wink. Oh, right, okay, yeah, no problems. Let me go and sort almost this thing we need to sort right now. It's very important, and the world's about to end. But when you're ready,
you must defeat the final enemy. But take care of what you have to take care of.
Take care of what you need to take care of. Yeah. You've got some things you need to wrap up, haven't you? Oh right. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Get that extra upgrade with the sword.
Exactly. Then come back. So what I ended up doing was taking a load of experience points and dumping them into the Beastmaster section. So upping the mounted archer, upping the beast's ridden beast's damage, upping the amount of damage the beast can receive, reducing the amount of shards it takes to repair the beast when you're on it. And I found initially an acid claw strider. So it's like a claw strider, but it vents acid out its gills. Like it's got these like sort of ventrals towards the rear end of it, and it just sort of pumps acid out. And it's sort of, and the Raptor also has this like almost headlights that focus on the road in front of it. So like it's quite freaky because, you know, you can be looking around with these headlights and it's like, yeah, this is awesome.
Oh, that's dope, man.
And I got so wrapped up in this little mini story in my mind that I actually then took it all the way to the jungle section in the game and just crept around the trees. And if it sees an enemy as well, it sort of bobs its head a bit like a raptor does. And, you know, not that I've seen a raptor in real life because these things are fossilized, but, you know, the way it kind of moves its head around sort of when it sees an enemy kind of focused on them as well. Just sort of, I was like, this is great.
That's awesome.
And then you tear into, I mean, when you face a Claw Strider one-on-one, early level, it's quite tough. Later on, you've got the bow and you've upped your bow and you know the weak points to go for without even going into the focus. You can just poof, 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 get it done. But yeah, so I'm then tearing into, I took it all the way back to the start of the map as well. Obviously, the way the game's built, there's lower level enemies at one end than there is at the other. I went all the way back there and just rode around like an absolute king on this acid claw strider, like, oh yeah, low-level baddie, you want a piece of me, do you? Just tearing into him and like instant kill, poof, instant kill, poof, instant kill, and then just sort of strutting off on this raptor as if it's sort of rocking its head backwards and forwards as if it's king of the Forbidden West as well. But graphically, I've been nothing but impressed by it. Obviously, I've read about there being some glitches with HDR, but I've not experienced one of them, or my eyes aren't advanced enough to see these issues, but I had no issues with it. I've left it in
rest. I think people just get too picky now.
Yeah,
like I said, frames and
yeah, I'm playing it in 30 FPS resolution mode because I just want to see a beautiful game. I've never once, like Kenner Bridge of Spirits, I experienced that 30 FPS actually was holding me back, and when I switched it to 60, I nailed that boss first time. In this game, I've never once thought to myself that it being 30 FPS versus 60 has held me back. Not
and you
one
see,
bit.
Like, to go way off topic here, but I beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out on NES back in the day with a regular TV. My friend has like a actual retro room with the old school TV, everything. I beat Mike Tyson. I've also beat Mike Tyson on an emulator in my house with my TV. I mean, I didn't feel timing was off, or maybe I just got used to the movement, I guess.
Yeah.
So like the only time I know a game slows down for me is like when I feel like, yeah, it's slow because I'm used to playing at this speed, and then I feel like it slows, like in modern games sometimes.
Yes.
Or it kind of like stops and goes. I feel like something's off, but then it doesn't happen again. So like I never seen like frame rates dropped besides my experience with Cyberpunk. So I never seen anything like just drop down to like PS1 level and then jump back up again. So I'm like, I don't see anything, and I try to play the game however it looks better. So I switch off and on a lot.
I tell you, the
performance mode and this mode,
I became aware, and I didn't know what it was, but I became aware of a frame rate drop was on Metropolis Street Racer on the Dreamcast. When all the cars rush into the corner, it took me a moment or two to think to myself, is this happening in my head because I'm focused and everything feels like it's slowed down, or has it slowed down? And playing it now as an adult that's experienced even more games and different variations of games and different quality of games, Metropolis Street Racer is a very high quality game. But now when I go back and play it, I think, my God, this thing's dropped like half its frames, if not more, as all the cars pile into the corner. Really? Yeah. And what I used to explain away back in the day as like slow motion was actually FPS just disappearing down a plug hole. Nowadays, they hide it better, like they restrict your movement. Jedi Fallen Order on PlayStation and Xbox, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One would be at one of those places, or, you know, the Uncharted or the Tomb Raider games, they slow down your transition between areas with those squeezeways to make sure that it can be loading in the background while your character is having very minimal forward movement. So they've got very clever at hiding it. Normally, you would have just walked through a corridor and it would have been like, or it would have had to go to a black screen, load, and present you back into the game. Now they've used very cunning, very clever ways to, the first answer to this was the lifts in Mass Effect or the lifts in a game, get in a lift. Oh, I feel like I'm in a lift. This is one long lift.
Yeah.
Now I'm coming out. Now I'm in the new area, but it's been explained away because I've been in a lift. Okay. But then to keep it more movie-like and more, ongoing, you get narrowed into corridors or you get narrowed into sort of tight animation mechanics like Jedi Fallen Order when he squeezes through the pipework.
Yeah.
And I used to enjoy those because BD1 used to hop down, then he'd hop on something else and hop back on your shoulder, and you'd be like, oh wow, that's sweet.
See, even like God of War, because I read how they try to hide the transitions. I can see them. Or like The Last of Us, you can tell, all right, it's doing something. Certain games you just can't tell.
No.
Especially if it's like an action loading. And then it's like, oh, wow, I just jumped over here. Now, boom, game, go.
Yeah.
It's amazing, actually. Yeah.
The medium has come on so far. It's really quite clever. I've not been aware of any transitionary points in Horizon, but I'm sure there are some, just to give them a break or allow a larger section to load. Or I don't know how it compares on PS4 to PS5 because I'm only playing it on PS5. But from what I've experienced and from what I've seen, I think if you're playing it on PlayStation 4, you'd be having an absolutely great time. I would imagine that, Last of Us 2 was meant to be the swan song for the console. Well, you've ended up with another couple. You've ended up with Gran Turismo 7 and you've ended up with Horizon Forbidden West. Who would have thought it?
Possibly God of War.
Ragnarok. Most definitely Ragnarok will end up running on there as well. So it's a good time to be a PS4 owner. Don't sweat the biscuit. You ain't got a PS5, but as and when
you're doing all right.
You're doing well. Yeah. I mean, exclusive titles wise, it's been a bit slow, but I'm enjoying Horizon. Like I say, I'm in the end game. Would love to do some DLC for that. I will go back and play Frozen Wilds because it came out on PSN as part of one of the monthly bits, and I never played it. And
it's great.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
As soon as I saw it announced, like boom, purchase immediately.
Well, I need to go back, and I think I've just got flowers to collect in the original. I remember when I put it down, I wasn't far off getting the platinum. Again, I'm not that motivated to do that because I'd enjoyed the story, and it all ended up just being a bit of a fast travel here, collect flower, fast travel there, collect flower, fast travel there, collect flower. And I was like, well, I'm not enjoying myself, and this just seems for the sake of it. So I kind of sacked it off. That's probably been a rather long sort of dump of what I've been playing straight out of the memory. What have you been playing, kind sir?
Well, it's been kind of boring, really, because since, I don't know, November, December, Diablo 2, we'll be in it to win it. And then I played little things off in there. So I got the platinum for Axiom Verge 2.
Oh, what's that like?
It's like a Metrovania type game. The guy who made it loved Metroid.
Yeah.
So he kind of made like a, very similar gameplay style of that. You don't have to play the first one to play the second one. It's a totally different story, but the gameplay elements are kind of similar. Right. So I enjoyed it. I just wish the map was a little bit better. Like I had to Google to find out, how do I know if I'm missing something? Then I realized if you click into the map, it'll tell you left-hand corner, there'll be a check. I didn't really even realize that was part of the map system. So it took me probably longer to explore than to beat the game. You have to 100% the map and collect everything. And I would play the game and it would say 98%. Well, what is the 2% I'm missing?
I see.
And then that was kind of annoying, backtracking, because certain areas you can't get to very easily. And figure that's where everything that I needed was. But I thought it was good. Not as good as the first game, but very good.
Was it a long backtrack to find that last 2%? They haven't stuck it in the opening area, have they?
Yeah, because then I had to Google what I even was missing. Like I didn't even know. Oh, that. Like, I don't need it for the game. It's an optional weapon.
Right.
I never knew it was part of the game. And okay. So I just collected it and then boom. I was like, wow, miracle. It was enjoyable until that part. And then Adam, Finchy, our digital artist, he recommended Death's Door.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I loved it. That was really good. Very Souls-like. Like a top-down. You play as a little raven, a crow. And you're trying to free souls, much like Dark Souls, and then find out why the crows have been imprisoned. So the storyline was pretty good. I like the combat. Then I did a Sega game that was supposed to be released back in the mid-90s, never got a chance. And it's been released now. It's called Ultra Core. It's so 90s. I love it.
What is like Ultra Core?
It's like a Contra style game.
Right.
Where, you could duck, jump, platform, enemies everywhere. Just brings back the like run and gun, simple run and gun. Nothing.
Is it like a bullet hell one? Is there loads of bullets to dodge? Even
there's bullet, but now I wouldn't say bullet hell, which is nice.
Yeah,
the enemies are tough though.
Yeah,
like, so it kind of has to bring you back to like when you just have to be a pure, you have to be a badass. Like Contra, shoot before you get shot.
Yeah.
Type deal, and then once you know the enemies, you can kind of, he's only gonna shoot mid-level. Let me duck. You still have to figure it out. This guy, I have to jump because they're gonna, you know what I mean. But so that was good. And then I started Demon Souls. I just beat the first boss, the Phalanx, which was.
Is this a new game to you? Have you ever played Demon Souls before? Or?
I played on PS3.
Yeah. So
memories came back immediately. I got killed by an optional boss a bunch of times because I'm trying to go there. I for some reason, when I was younger, I did it no problem. I just feel like my timing's off with the parrying. So I'm going to level up a little bit and go back. There's some rings there and a nice sword you can get early in the game.
Yeah.
But I'm playing, so I did that, but still Diablo. So basically, there's 7 characters. You need to beat the game on hell with all 7 characters. It's pretty difficult, but me and my stepfather had this plan where, so the first time we did it, we picked our main character we want, and we made them level up to as high as we can go. Basically, we're stuck on level 90. Then we did our second characters with my boy Marlon, the 3 of us, and we're
How is Marlon? Thank you.
He's doing all right. His birthday just passed.
Happy birthday.
So he's doing all right. Second characters, I realized if you get to level 55, the minimum requirement to beat hell is 60. I'm like, so why don't we I'll use my main character who's superhero strong and just help you guys beat hell. And then you guys use your main character and do mine.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to get to level 55. Our main goal, beat the levels, level 55, and then do the basic minimum requirement to get hell difficulty completed. So we're on our 4th character. By today, we should be on our 5th character.
Oh my!
It's not a short game. It's pretty long, and depending on who you use, could take longer. Melee characters, listen, not the way to go. If you're not shooting lightning or fire or have any kind of projectile weapon, see ya.
That's a life rule, though, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so I can't wait. Like the Paladin is supposed to be one of the strongest guys in the game. It's whatever. Maybe I'm using him wrong. I just can't wait to beat the game with him and just move on. And then we're going to try to get all that done. I mean, does it get tiring? Yeah. It's becoming a little bit grindy now. Yeah, but we're having a good time on the headset. So that's what's keeping us going, just talking and making jokes about everything. If I had to do this by myself, no, I wouldn't have. No, I'm done. I'm not doing this 7 times.
No, Bobby.
Then you got to do it again on hardcore. So if you die, see ya. So I start over. But you don't really have to beat the game. You just have to get to level 99. So if you farm the areas correctly, you could level up at a good rate, and then you're just stuck between the level 90 to 99. So basically, level 1 to 98 takes the exact same time as level 98 to 99. Which is why sometimes when I see people beat the game in 100 hours, I'm like, how? That's impossible. Apparently, there's like a cheat system on the PS4
Right.
that you can download, I don't know, hack into, and you can timestamp your trophies. You can't do it in the PS5. So technically, only 2 people have beaten the game and platinum it on PS5 version, which I found pretty interesting.
So your information there is that they're cheating.
I mean, I don't want to say that, but I mean, how'd you do it in 100 hours? Because if you can, show me. I would love to know. Because right now, if you go to the PS5 menu and click games,
Yeah.
It's been like 290 hours for me.
Yeah.
My stepfather maybe has like 300 because he plays a little bit. He tries to play a little bit extra to get a head start because, he's retired, so he has a little bit more time to play. So he'll try to like level up his character to help me out so we can keep going forward.
I can't wait till I'm retired and just play video games all day.
It's amazing.
Well,
it's
amazing.
amazing.
Bored? Like, no. What's wrong with you? No, I'd be very happy.
Then I got Horizon West.
Yeah.
And I got Elden Ring. Ooh. So now I'm like, probably shouldn't have started Demon Souls now. Probably the wrong time for that. But you know what? I'm going to try to finish that game. If I have to go back, I go back. But I'm really excited to play those 2. So I'm in a little bit of a backlog.
When I was playing Forbidden West, all I could think of was you. I was thinking to myself, Bobby's going to love this.
I love
Bobby's going to love that. And all the collectibles as well. I was like, he's going to actually find these really good. He's going to love this.
I really loved I loved the first game so much. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, like I say, it's nothing new, but it's such a good rendition of what an open world Assassin's Creed game has become. But it's removed all the bloat, and I even, like I say, care about the characters and find the story interesting. Even though
good episode.
What's that?
Rating. Not to have anybody left out, but like Sony made games only. And maybe get like tier them. Like Uncharted is only PlayStation, Horizon, God of War. Rate the characters who we feel.
Oh, the PlayStation characters.
Yeah. And then maybe get like another week, get like a huge Xbox guy we know. Maybe have him do like Xbox characters, rate them.
Yeah.
Be pretty fun.
If Blinks doesn't win the Xbox category, I'm done with gaming.
Who?
Blinks the Time Sweeper. They launched a mascot with the original Xbox, this time-traveling cat. It utilized, the original Xbox had a hard drive in it, as you know, and that enabled them to do things like being able to rewind time. So, because it could write your actions to the hard drive. Allegedly, this wasn't able to be done on any other machine, but I've seen similar things done on the PS2. But who am I to argue with the powerhouse of marketing? But I still think the idea is fantastic. They did 2 games, Blinks 1 and Blinks 2.
No way.
A game that always intrigued me, but I never wanted to put money down. And then when obviously over time it ended up falling to being like £1.50, I thought I'm going to give Blinks a go. And Blinks thoroughly charming. It's a character that has probably got more mass market wide appeal than Microsoft gives it credit for. I'm not saying that, kids and girls only go for these sorts of characters in games, but has definitely got more broad market appeal than Master Chief, as an example. Like the Master Chief's very much like, I'm a man's man, guns, 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 guns. Like there is more depth to John 1117 or whatever his name is, but at the same token, PlayStation has got like Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper and people like that, and they had a chance to kind of get a character going like that. And I was never offended by Blinks. I've made some show titles out of his name and had a bit of fun at him, but Blinks is better than Knack.
I never even heard of this guy.
Time manipulating cat. I won't say he's a time traveler. I think one of the things that sticks from memory is I think there was some water in one of the first levels, and you could drain the water away, but then you could watch your ghost of your character running through the water, and enabling those 2 mechanics together enabled you to progress. And they claimed at the time that it was the ability to write the information of your character's track to hard drive and the change of the levels that enabled them to produce such a game for the first time ever on console.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? Really cool. Like I say, did it get pushed hard enough? No. I think the Xbox, especially, it's different now, but at launch, it was very much a man's gamer console, very much a bigger boys machine. So maybe Blinks didn't fit with the profile of people they were trying to attract. But
I convinced my friend, a coworker at work, to buy an Xbox One. No. Series S. Yeah. Because he's not really a gamer. He was trying to figure it out. I'm like, well, if I'm not really a gamer, then I wouldn't get this and that, Maybe just get that Series S with the Game Pass and then try some games out.
And how's their experience been?
Beautiful.
Oh, that's good.
He loves it. Because I'm like, he wants to run games on a computer. Listen, it's not my specialty. And he had a laptop. I don't know how they can run the games. So I said, I can't help you with this at all. So he was like trying to figure it out. He went to the store. He had an Apple laptop. They're
That's just not going to happen, is it?
He's like, well, this game might definitely, kill your battery and your fan might get over hot. And how long can you play it for? Because the first game he bought was Metro Exodus because it was $1.
Yeah.
And then he was like, it's just not really that playable. It gets overheated and then he has to turn it off. He has to wait a little bit. I'm like, well, at least get a Series S. You can get them here. It's not that you can't get them.
Yeah, you can get them here as well. Yeah.
So then that's
walk in and buy one.
If you're a casual gamer, then that's perfect. I think you got like 3 months of Game Pass for like, I don't know, $10.
Yeah.
So
what games has he, as a casual or outsider going in? What's he been playing?
Well, the last game he played was like on the Super Nintendo.
Whoa.
Hasn't played anything since. I'm like, well, listen, they're nothing like that no more. They're totally different. Because even he was like, the controller, so many buttons. How am I going to get used to it? I'm like, you'll feel it, bro. If your inner game will come out, you'll feel it. Yeah. So I recommended some, games that could be, like Streets of Rage. He liked that. I'm like, well, there you go. That's a game you can do.
Yeah.
If he said he liked Counter-Strike, I was like, so maybe any first-person game will be fine or good enough, That he did get Exodus again because he wanted to see the story. He liked it.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what else he told me, but he's been really enjoying it.
I tell you what, I love, when people either come back to an harder period away, playing only retro, then coming back to modern gaming. And, and I think what helped as well, while I was ill, playing Bully and then playing original Red Dead, then going into Horizon, it kind of made my eyes out and stalks even more because there were times when I was thinking when playing Red Dead 1, it can't really get any better than this graphics-wise, especially when you get to Mexico. I feel like the first area is a little bit, could look like Red Dead Revolver at times, but then when you get to Mexico and the sand gets white and, it gets washed up on the sides of the buildings and things, and, it just, for me, that aesthetic is amazing.
Yeah.
But then going from that to Horizon Forbidden West, I was like, oh my
I remember
goodness.
When I downloaded the Spyro trilogy again, I'm like, that's how it looked like to me on PlayStation. It looked like this in my mind. Yeah. Now when you go back, you're like, oh man, this is super blocky, but it could have gotten better than that. No way. And then the next generation came out and it blew my mind. Oh my God.
Oh,
it's just, who knows what PlayStation 6 or Xbox Series 2, whatever they're going to call it, if they even have it, who knows what they're going to look like. It's just going to be unbelievable.
I kind of like, in my mind, the graphical fidelity of something like, Scott, slightly stylized, but has gone for a realistic look. Something like Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
When that's open world, the thing is, times where Horizon looks just as good, and it is open world. It's like times when Days Gone's just as good, and it is open world. So there's just those little nuances that kind of, it is a slightly more linear experience. But when we get that level of character detail on every character, and
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. And then VR as well. Obviously, with some further announcements of PSVR 2 this week, they released it, showed the product. very in line with the aesthetic of the PS5, one cable only, but it will be 4K. And you think to yourself, and obviously in 3D, like,
That's
oh
insane.
my God, the haptics in the visor and in the controls may actually almost simulate touch in a way, certainly more than, previous ones. I think you'll be able to feel almost the picking up of an object or the brushing of something across your face. That's going to be...
It's going to be crazy.
That's going to be special. Hopefully they bring No Man's Sky to that. I don't see any reason why they can't. I mean, at the minute, you've got to do it through backwards compatibility, but just to have an easy experience to don the headset, get in your ship and fly around. I used to just take my ship up into an asteroid field and then just sit back and let it rotate in space, because that's what I would do if I had a spaceship. I'll do some mining, then I'd sit and have a brew while the ship just rotated through and I'm listening to some tunes, and then I'd fly back and drop my load off and come back, or maybe sometimes just sit secreted away in an asteroid field, just rotating, waiting to see if anyone comes by or some NPC pirates come along, and then I can sort of like power.
No, it's true. It's like
flying out, giving it some. I mean, I think this past week I've spent a lot of time playing stories in my mind of games I'm creating myself, like my time on my Acid Warrior Raptor and No Man's Sky in Space.
But it's amazing where your mind takes you when you're playing certain games, where even you know the story. Yes. Making up your own little story.
Yeah, it's almost...
I think that's why he wanted to play, because he was like, he's 35. It's not like he's old, but he was just like, he's single guy. Doesn't really, goes home. What does he do? Little computer, reads books. But what he asked me, he was interested in, because he knows I play them. And he's like, it just felt so, I lost like 4 hours of time. I would try to figure out what to do. It's cold and whatever. And I'm playing this game and I'm like, man, I just felt so relaxed and like felt comfort. That like, at least I have something
that lifts my heart. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's true. Like when you come home from work, you're a little stressed down, you play a little game, get a little mind off it, then you do your regular routine. I mean, sometimes you need something, whether it's a book or a game, a movie. You got to relax your mind, man. That's
everybody needs a little bit of something, Bobby.
They sure do.
Everybody needs a little bit of something. As long as it's maintainable, it's sensible, and it's legal. Knock yourself out. And video games is a great outsource and outlet for that. So
it is.
I'd say that's us caught up, unless you've been playing games on your mobile phone or something equally as treacherous. What else have I played? I'm trying to think. There was something I thought I better mention that I've been doing that. Oh no!
Besides the Bloodborne.
No, I've not been well enough to go through that again. Like I said to you off air, Bloodborne. I'm stuck in a place where I'm half convinced of myself that I need to start the game again.
No.
But because as I said, no one's dropping antidotes. No one's dropping fire paper. Both of these I need to survive. I've done everything I can to level up my character's acid resistance. I'm not a dum-dum. I've broken this game down into an Excel spreadsheet. I cannot really... I'm way over-leveled for the position that I'm in. The only thing that can help me survive that fight is antidote. And I just haven't got... And again, the risk of going less than one on antidotes and then having no antidotes available to buy is more than I can bear.
No,
it's more than I can bear. And it would be, I would probably have to start the game again. But your tips off air, hopefully take me to the happy place.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. Yeah, there's always another way.
Guess what? While we've been off, revenues have been down because it's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefriend all this week? These are the new release highlights for the week February 28th to March 6th, 2022. Listeners, these are out in digital or physical, or will be by the time this podcast is in your feed, but could be region dependent. Stingray, if this is your first ever episode, welcome to the family. Bit at the same question, what the hell's wrong with you? But welcome anyway. Stingray is the guy that in the local area brings rentals, legal and not legal, of the video or video game variety. Nothing like that, you're thinking, listener. Oh, no people rentals, nothing like that. And he brings them to us in the boot. Now, we use this nowadays as the medium of going through the new release games. Puts a spin on it, makes it a bit fun. But much like when we were children, we have to pick out a mummy. So this would be the game that we would beg mummy for. We'd hang on her skirt, like, mummy, please, no, we need this game today. If we don't get it, then everyone's going to bully me at school and I might even poo myself. Like, don't poo yourself. Oh, it's too late. So that's the definition of a mummy. But we also pick out a mummy VHS release. It doesn't have to be a VHS, just a movie we would like to see or have seen, normally with a retro tinge to it. I think I know what my mummy is.
Mine too. I know mine.
Mine's the penultimate one, which I know isn't yours, so that's great. I will start because I've got something to say about this game. So the first game out the boot, Far Changing Tides. It's on the PC, PS5, the Xbox series of consoles. It's made itself to the PS4, and it's also going to be on the Xbox One. And it's releasing on the Switch, which is a great fit for that game. March 1st, set sail and discover the wonders of a flooded world rife with mystery. Dive into unknown depths on the hunt for fuel and salvage. Devise innovative solutions to overcome intricate obstacles and unearth forgotten relics lost to time. Far Lone Sails was the first game. I think I did a mini review of it in one of our very early episodes. Absolutely belting game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's by a company called
like a spin-off of Waterworld.
But very kind of macabre. There's none of that craziness Mad Max vibe in this. It's a lot more sort of, it's a little darker than that. But
I like it.
I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I think for those people that like platinums, I think it would be an easy platinum. It wasn't long. I think you just got to play it through a couple of times. So Far Lone Sails is the original. Far Changing Tides is the sequel. Looks to be everything. The first vehicle was a wheeled, sailed, and steam-powered vehicle, a ship large enough for you to walk around the inside, and you monitored its systems. Everything was like a cutaway, and the same is here. And then you kind of get out, you have to collect food, and you have to collect wood. I think you had to, from memory, you had to collect passengers and then get them from one location. At the beginning of the game, everything happened with the vehicle transitioning from the left-hand side of the screen to the right-hand side of the screen. And it ended, I think, with you getting into the sea. This is a direct continuation of the story. Thoroughly recommend it. Yeah, nice little palate cleanser, for want of a better word. I've got one day I will auction off my show notebook. There's far too many notes in there about Alpha Protocol and Lone Sails, and
that's amazing.
Probably need to put more in it these days. I used to have it on my side as I played a game. I'd write a bit in. I still put ideas in. There's loads of probably my bank details. So whoever gets it's going to end up owning my life. But there you go. So Far Changing Tides. If any other month, any other week, that probably would have been my mummy. But it gets a secondary mummy. If you've got any holiday money left or whatever, pocket money, if I add to it and then, mow the grass for 6 weeks, can have this as well sort of job. But there you go. What's next?
This sounds sad. 35 millimeter on the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, March 2nd. It just seems sad. Post-apocalyptic story about two travelers who set out on a long journey in the wasteland left by people after the global epidemic.
Obviously, I try and check out everything prior to putting it in the boot. I was getting Road vibes, the film The Road.
Yeah.
Which is not a film to watch on an afternoon.
That's what Viggo Mortensen, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great film, but sometimes I don't want to watch a film to get sad. That's why
people thought, it's going to be an action, and they're going to go watch an action movie, and you come out crying.
Oh, more than crying. And if you've got children as well.
It just seemed too lifelike. It just seemed like whoever made this was like, you know what? This will really happen if this happens. And this is how you would not get past it, because this is real life, not a movie.
It's absolutely.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, I've watched that film once and I kind of promised myself never again. There's a few films that I've watched for the experience and I'm like, but no more.
Some movies are a one-time watch.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
It is one of them, yeah. Switching things up a little bit. It's slightly similar theme, but way different. It's Zombie Rollers, Pinball Heroes on the PC and Switch March 2nd. Zombie Rollers is the ultimate mashup of classic pinball, zombie defense. Stay around. I don't know how this is a roguelite, Fred. We've got another roguelite in the boot. Shoot, slam, and smash your way through hordes of zombies and epic boss fights. Select your hero. It's time to become Pinball Wizard.
Oh my God! Speaking of pinball, we were in Boston at a bowling alley. They had a few arcade machines.
Mm.
Played Halo Team Ravenfire, something like that. It's huge. It was a huge machine. Just 4 people could sit inside of it. 2 massive TVs.
Yeah.
You could shoot on each TV, so you could help out your friends on the other side of the screen.
I saw this on your gram.
Yeah, it was just me and my nephews played it. It was just amazing. I have not this arcade was beautiful. The surround sound on top of your head, behind you, the chair shook, the gun was attached like Terminator 2.
This is the Halo game.
God, yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Then they had Walking Dead game.
That's good.
Which you also have to sit down. You have like a little crossbow. And there was a rock band. I can't remember the name. I didn't take any pictures of it either. Like an old 80s pinball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't played pinball and who knows?
Just to those that
oh my God.
Pinball's still excellent, isn't it?
Like you have to hit the trigger, time the ball right. What was I can't forget. We'll probably have to do that as a note for next week. I have to call them. What rock band? It wasn't Kiss. Some other rock band.
Aerosmith.
And I'm like, no. It was like maybe like a grungier 80s, maybe more heavy metal kind of gun. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. But my God, what an amazing experience that was.
Well, I was going to say to those that are listening and they think, I love Bobby. I want a slice of Bobby. How would they follow you on social media? Where are you?
Oh, Instagram. Really, it's the _ Chronicles _ of _ a _ gamer.
And may I take just a moment to help people understand what they're going to find? They're going to find pictures of your day-to-day life, but more, they're going to find daily reviews of classic and modern games, a description of how easy or hard it is to get platinum if it's a Sony game, the enjoyment you had on it, a little story if we're talking about a retro game, a little story about your enjoyment of it, your interaction with your friends, how you discovered the game, what the game means to you, pictures not only of the game, but then also footage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a wonderful place to go. Always a very popular little page. Goodness knows why you agreed to come on here. You're practically a gaming celebrity as far as I'm concerned. You've got more platinums than some people who call themselves the voice of gaming, and for that reason, because I've got 190 platinums. Yeah, well done. My man Bobby's got more than that. All right. So if we're getting into a measuring situation, this he's got plenty of hoes to unroll, friend. You know, and you just got a drinking straw. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Thank you.
Edit that out, James. If the drinking straw comment ends up in, it will get shut down. Get it all gone.
Look, I'll tell you, when I heard this podcast, nonstop play for me.
What a legend! And are your shows still? Because you've done a lot of your own solo shows, which are a guilty pleasure of mine.
I did it, then I got busy with the new job and everything happening. But now that I kind of know my routine, thinking about doing it again. You know,
more memories. They're my favorite episodes. The memories episodes. They're absolutely brilliant. I never knew. It's
not easy, man. Like you come in here and it's like, all right, we just done episode, great, beautiful. You do all the work, really. I'm just here to help assist the best I can. When I have to do my own, it's a lot of pressure. I'm like, how can I be like George?
No, you don't need to.
How can I flow this out? How can I flow this out?
You need to just be yourself because you're such a charming and wonderful man. Ray's looking at me, sucking hard on a cigarette. He's like, I haven't got time.
He's running out of cigs. We gotta.
I've got rest of the village to get round here, boys. So once you finish the mutual loving, why don't you get back to this? It's Beholder 3 on the PC, March 3rd. I don't know if it's my turn or not. Did we do Babylon's Fall?
No.
I think it's your turn to do Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall, PC, PS5, PS4, March 3rd. Experience acclaimed developer Platinum Games signature combat in Babylon's Fall with up to 3 other players, or take on the Tower of Babel alone in this new cooperative. The rest is a mystery.
It's probably my fault. In fact, I know it is. Up next, Beholder 3. PC, we haven't had your Mummy yet, so I presume it might be the next one. Beholder 3, or is the last one your Mummy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, well. Wow. I was going to say, I didn't think you liked racing games. Beholder 3, PC, March 3rd. When a high-ranking security officer comes, saves you from prison, you end up a pawn in her schemes. Now you must eliminate anyone standing in the way of a secret plan to try and get back your life while working 2 jobs. No tenant, employee, or superior is safe from your spying.
So you want to read the next one?
Yeah, if we're going to do our own Mummy. So my Mummy, and I'm excited, getting the wheel dusted off, getting myself a pair of overalls. It's Gran Turismo 7, PS5, PS4, March 4th. Whether you're a competitive or casual racer, collector, tuner, livery designer, or photographer, find your line with a staggering collection of game modes, including fan favorites like GT Campaign, Arcade, and Driving School. Looking forward to that. I think by the time it comes round, Horizon Zero Dawn, whether it's dropped the platinum for me or not, will have had its throat slit.
I love Gran Turismo. I used to play it nonstop. I thought it was amazing. And I think it was Gran Turismo 3 where you can unlock the F1 car.
Yes, I think it was. There was an element of something.
It ruined because that car can go 90 on a cool turn.
Yeah.
And I was killing everybody. Then when I had to go race again, and my friends were like, you can't use this no more. Back to my Mustang. And I was just spinning and sliding everywhere. Couldn't even turn no more. It ruined it for me. Then you're playing other games that don't have the real car mechanic. Like Mad Max, I'm playing Mad Max. Bro, I could do anything in that car. Really anything in that car. If I go play Gran Turismo, I would not be able to drive Mad Max car.
I tell you what, I don't know whether it was a hidden gem or what, but you bring up Mad Max, what an absolutely belting. I'm not saying it's special. I'm not saying it's a 10 out of 10 or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just good.
As a good distraction, just a week's game.
Yeah.
You could do so much worse than Mad Max. And I would say the last third started to drag a little bit, but when it finished, I was like,
the only thing that kind of made me upset was like each boss area was the same boss, just different color tie-dye. Kind of was annoying.
And you knew you were entering a boss.
You could always tell.
Yeah, it was signposted, and for that reason, the actual fighting of one-on-one with normal enemies was actually way more exciting and visceral than then. Sometimes I wonder video games are like, you got to have a boss. You got to have a boss. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you though?
I feel like in Mad Max you don't really have to.
Need a boss, did it?
Maybe whatever the main guy was, would have been just enough, because when you finally face him, oh wow. Because basically he was just a stronger version of the other ones you fought for like 6 times.
And it took some of the excitement. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you. And I sometimes think that video games needs to remember to learn from things like, do we need a boss at the end of every area? Like, no, you don't. Like, yeah, it's a great test of skills, and maybe it then zaps your inventory to make the next section a bit harder. So there's a reason why we've put the boss in there, to make sure you're absolutely on the bones of your backside for when you start what would old school days would call level 2. Okay, fair enough. Explain it to me. But sometimes from a narrative point of view, it's like, suddenly there's this great big muscle bound dude being introduced with guns for arms, and it's like, I'm gonna have to fight this dude.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Super true.
Yeah. So what's your mummy? So
for me, just hearing about this, reading this was like, I want to check this out. It's Gunborg, Dark Matters for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, March 4th. Harness the power of dark energy as you jump, shoot, and bombard your way through an army of alien soldiers and killer robots in an arcade-style action platformer with slick 80s synthwave soundtrack. When I hear the words slick 80s synthwave soundtrack, I want to go to England. Okay, I want to go to Retro Harvey's house with his vinyl and just hear the synthwave like you should be hearing it.
Actual. Yes. Agreed.
I feel like when he puts on a record player, that's his room, probably sounds like the best club you can ever have. I mean, he has 100 years of experience. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, and the rest.
I mean, come on, and just sit there. I'll do a little bourbon and just feel the music in my body. Forget about hearing it.
That's what you're hoping that game's going to bring you.
So I really do.
Okay. That's a good reason for it to be a Mummy if ever I saw one. Literally feels like an 80s synth retro wave trip through Harvey Retro's inner mind, while slightly fueled by a small amount, or like a moderately amount sized drink of bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's just from putting it in your console. I mean,
can you imagine?
Imagine that in VR.
Hopefully it's good.
Well, you've given it this show's unofficial title of approval. Hey, they can stick that on the box. So Mummy.
Stick that on the box.
I tell you what, one day that's going to happen.
We're going to be,
going to turn it over and it's like unofficial controller podcast Mummy Choice of the Week. So, oh, we've made it. We've made it. We've made it. We've come close, but no cigar. We've made it. Okay, with that all said and done, before Ray can leave and get on with his day-to-day activities, I have to ask him, or I have to ask you, what's your VHS pick, friend?
You know what's funny? I have a brain fart, but I was just talking about with Eva. I asked her, did you ever see this movie? She's like, oh, that's it. It came back. 13th Warrior.
Why have I heard of that?
Antonio Banderas.
Oh, no.
If there's a movie, listen, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I love this movie. Is it the best movie? No. Is it extremely mediocre? 100%. Is Antonio Banderas as charming as ever? Yes, he is.
Do you think... Okay. I'm going to pick this one out, and I don't know what to say about 13th Warrior. This is very much a film of its time. And in many ways, for that reason, it's disappeared from the pantheon of modern thought. Now, I don't think I've picked it before. Now, I believe it stars Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, but it's called You Got Mail.
Yes, You Got Mail.
And it's about the early days of MSN messaging or Yahoo messaging, whenever the world was very early days.
You got mail.
You got mail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think it's the best film in the world, but as a microcosm of a certain time, of a certain era, great big CRT monitors, people tapping away, supping coffee, while having a nag on a bit of apple pie.
If you want to go back to what it was to be a 90s, I guess, teenage adult, whatever.
Yes.
That's the film.
You Got Mail. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All the angst.
Whatever happened to Meg Ryan?
I think she had some rather unfortunate plastic surgery and ended up looking like someone had filled her bottom lip.
Who else kind of Overboard?
Oh, Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, see,
I love Overboard.
I would confuse them back when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think I'm guilty of that. They're kind of like, I tell
Beautiful
you else,
women, funny.
Yeah, I tell you what else occupies that same space in my mind. Meg Ryan, Michelle Pfeiffer, and as you say, Goldie Hawn. They kind of all, in my mind, they kind of get all a bit mixed up. But I noticed that Michelle Pfeiffer is in Ant-Man, the second Ant-Man as well. And they, in the beginning, they kind of de-age her. I was like, yeah, she's still phenomenal. She looks phenomenal when they pull her out on spoilers for a 10-year-old film.
Oh, yeah.
But, when they pull her out the miniverse or whatever it is, the quantum realm, she still looks phenomenal. I mean, this woman hasn't washed.
I know.
She hasn't taken care of herself, because how do you in the quantum realm for what literally could be an eternity as far as time is measured? And she pops out looking hot.
She could be this era's Helen Mirren.
I wonder if she's older or younger than Helen Mirren.
She's probably
the same age.
No way.
That can be in community corrections next week.
I think Helen Mirren's late 70s.
And how old's Michelle Pfeiffer?
Early mid 60s.
Early.
Yeah, you're right. That's kind of close.
Close enough for government work.
Yeah, you're right.
Listen, Ray, let's let Ray go. He's gone. I don't know where he goes. He just disappears into smoke. He comes with the sound of a car. He leaves with nothing. Some say it's because the show's got no budget. I say, how dare you? Okay. The only thing that's left in this rather jumbled up format of a show this week, normally we're such good boys, we bring you script, we bring you all of it. This week, it's a catch up because we've had COVID and various issues in our lives. all joking aside. And now we're back on the wagon. So don't worry. Weekly show format returns. Those that know the format know I've only got one thing left to ask. We've kind of covered it, but what are you hoping to play?
Demon Souls, Diablo 2. That seems just to be my weekly thing now.
Yeah.
I might stink open and pop one of the other games in though.
Well, the 86
I don't know if I can wait. Usually I can wait, but now I'm like getting really antsy. So,
wow. Okay. Well, the platinum can wait.
100%.
Me, more Horizon. Like I say, I want to see that drop. May even see a platinum at that rate. It's not difficult at all. You've just got to put yourself through the game.
Mm-hmm.
And as a byproduct, some of the platinum's going to come naturally. I think you don't have to. It's not I think there's one unmissable. There's one, but it is involved in the last boss. You have to scan it because it's the only time you engage that enemy in the game.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you die, if you die in a boss encounter, it reloads it, but it doesn't reload your scan of the creature. So just make sure every time, if you end up in a loop, because it's probably going to be slightly difficult being an end boss, you've got to make sure you scan it every time it reloads. I mean, I'm not at that point yet, but I'm not far away. And I wanted to make sure there wasn't anything that I'd missed, because there's always the data points. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm collecting all these data points, but if I miss one in this section, I'm not overly convinced I better just make sure.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the data points aren't collectible. So that's wonderful. So that Gran Turismo 7 is going to be out. I feel like diving back into some PS2 era as well. Yeah, because I think the Warriors, I want to go back to the Warriors. We'll see what the game of the month ends up being for us to play along on the Discord. So we all play along a game together. I'll probably pull that out of the bag as well. Other than that, I think that's about it. I did threaten to play some Wii U while I was poorly, but I couldn't drag myself into that room to set it up, to be honest with you.
And then March 2nd, big shout out. I'm seeing the Batman. Very excited. My first time at the movie theater since the Rona.
Oh wow! Like I said, I've been twice since the Rona. I've been to see Spider-Man No Way Home, or whatever it's called, the latest one, which was phenomenal.
How much are the tickets by you, just in general?
If you're going to a big multiplex, which I used to maintain all the big films I had to see at the multiplex. I want the IMAX, I want everything. All right, they're a lot of money. I can't give you a number per se, but for not much more than one adult ticket at the local mom and pop cinema, which is just as good. And in the UK, there's one near me called the Kinema in the Woods, which is a World War II theatre that was set up for airmen to watch films there and the local community. So it's secreted away in some parkland. It's very done out in a 1920s style inside and out.
Oh, that's cool.
They've recently added a couple of 2 or 3 extra screens now, but it's all built in, so you would never know you weren't sat in a screen that wasn't there since the 1940s. You can get all your family in for the price pretty much of one person's ticket. I might be over-egging it, or 2 people's ticket.
That's phenomenal.
For a trip to the big branded multiplex.
Well, I have a local theater, but it's not like a local mom and pop. It's like it's Regal.
Yeah.
Like number 2 in the world, whatever.
Yeah.
These tickets were like $23, man. Each.
It's not cheap, because you want popcorn. You're probably going to need.
I forget about it. I'm going to sneak everything in Eva's purse.
Fine. Okay.
No way.
Knowing with a branded film like Batman, there's going to be like a popcorn tin you can buy. Hey man, why are you getting don't get the medium, don't get the large. Why don't you upgrade to the family bucket? Take it home. You're going to have the Robert Pattinson bucket in your house. You can do what you want with that. Don't just get the regular slushy, man. What are you doing? Okay.
Upgrade that bad boy.
Get the whole tankard, man. You want the Batman? It's Patterson's head. Straw is his ear. Kind of well done. You kind of suck on that. Yeah, slushy in the mouth. Only a real man drinks from Patterson's face. You got to remember that's Wayne. That's Bruce Wayne, that friend. Don't forget your exclusive movie posters. So if you get the hot dog, you get the bucket of corn, you get the Batman smoothie cup. You're going to get the exclusive, only available at this certain cinema poster. It's the same as every other poster you can get, but slightly different. It's matte and the others are shiny, but ratchet up, get that. You get this useless piece of paper free. It doesn't change your cinema going experience at all, but we've certainly cranked as much as we can out your back pocket, Bobby. Hey, you're a Batman fan. You're a Batman fan. Don't forget the key ring. Don't forget the badge. Don't forget you need to enter in. Why not? If you're a Batman fan, why not enter the giveaway? It's another $2. Ratchet up. That's it. Do the family bulk winning meal deal with this. There's a very, very limited chance, probably same odds as a lottery, friend. I'm not going to tell you that, but it is. You may actually get to look at Robert Pattinson through a two-way glass for 30 seconds.
So true.
So,
every time I see a family at the theater, I'm like, God bless them.
They are about to get herded.
You got two kids, and let's say you got 3 kids and 2 adults. That's a good, just to get in is a good 150.
It's at 150, and then the kids get to come to the guy behind the counter that's trying to get his bonus. So he's like, "Hey, little Johnny, do you want the Batman mug? Can I have the Batman mug?
Yeah. You want the regular popcorn or the Batman bag? The Batman popcorn bag."
And then
what's the dad going to say? Like, the dad's going to be like,
"Dad,
get the Batman
he's
one.
Getting the cup and the popcorn. I want the cup and the popcorn and the giveaway, and then the chance to see Robert Pattinson through a two." So he's like, "Right, okay. So how many family meal deals is that? That's 12, sure." Okay, how much is that? $4,628. To you today, $5,000 because it's midweek. So we can only do the discounts on the weekend. So I tell you,
it's crazy, man.
And I ratchet it up. Oh, and that's for kids. Did you want one as well, sir? It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can afford it. Well, look at it this way. Okay, each kid's, if you buy another one, adult price, you get another $1.50 off each kid one. How much is the adult meal? $600. Right. So I'm saving $5 to spend. What's going on? Just give me a card, sir. Scan. In you go. But why can't I sit down comfortably? It's because your ass is so sore that we've absolutely. I hope the film's good, sir. I can't even vouch for the quality of that, but the popcorn's below average at best.
Oh my God. No,
that's American consumerism. Long live it. Long live it. Long live it. Because that's the American dream right there, friend.
Mm-hmm.
So next week when we see you, you're going to be sat there with Robert Pattinson's face. You're drinking out of his face.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy the Batman mask. I'm going to buy the Robert Pattinson mask. That's it.
So great big bucket of popcorn, which is now, I got one for Rogue One, and I look at it sometimes and think I'm never going to eat popcorn out of it because that was an obscene amount of popcorn. Yeah. What can I use it for? A waste paper basket.
Mm-hmm.
Who has a Star Wars waste paper basket? I'm leaving it in the cupboard. I don't know what to do with it. I'm trying to half tell myself that it will have some intrinsic value at some point in time as a collectible. But then again,
the hardest time being an adult when you can afford this cool cup, and then you're like, but where am I going to put it? Right?
Yeah.
That's the problem when you're an adult. When you're a kid, you just want it. You're a kid. You'll have fun with it.
And will my partner ever see me in a sexual light again if she sees me supping on Robert Pattinson's ear?
Yeah. Sometimes if I'm looking at something and Eva sees me looking at it and she's like, why? And I'm like, that's a great question. And then I'm like, do I really need this? No. And then I just get over it.
Okay. Well, with that mega bombshell and I'm on CIA's hit list now because I've just woken everybody up to consumerism in America, and Robert Pattinson's probably going to have his movie bombed because people are trying to buy these mugs and then they're not going to have it. I heard about this on the Official Control podcast. Just give me a small popcorn and a free coffee. That's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. I look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. Bobby, thank you. See you next week.
Peace out, George.